A very warm welcome in the third module of week 5 of the course IP Strategy and Entrepreneurship, titled Copyright Registration and Entrepreneurship. We are now well aware about the subject matter of copyright. We have seen what are the different types of subject matter, that is literary work, music, sound recording, cinematographic film and so on. We have also seen the what are the related rights. So, we are pretty well aware about the subject matter. We have also seen a few other types of IP, that is patent and trademark. And as an entrepreneur, when you should go for patent application, when you should go for trademark application, that idea you have received now. Now, considering this copyright, now you have understood what different subject matter of copyright is there. Now, how you should go for the registration of copyright. Now, here I will suggest you that for patent registration, we have suggested you that patent attorney is important, means you have to take help of patent attorney, because patent is a techno-legal document and you may know the technology in detail, but how to present it in the document with the proper legal language and claim drafting is a very important part of a patent. And therefore, we have suggested that we have to take a help of a patent attorney or a patent expert. He may be a patent agent, okay, or he may be having both degrees like a patent agent and a lawyer. Okay. Now, considering trademark, we will suggest that okay, you can do on yourself trademark registration. Indian trademark registration, if you want to do, you can easily do that particular thing. So, that also you have seen. I will say that this copyright registration is most simplest registration when you compare it with a patent and a trademark. So, for copyright registration, we will suggest you will not take help of anybody, you yourself can do this registration. So, for patent it is a must, you will require help of an expert. Trademark, it is your choice, but yeah, it is pretty well possible that you can do trademark registration on your own. But with the copyright, we will strongly suggest that you will not at all take help of anybody, you yourself will do the copyright registration. It is that simple. So, we will see how you can do that thing. So, once you go through this module, you will be expert in copyright registration. Okay. Now, if you see the copyright related thing, that is, it is a automatic protection. Okay. So, here registration is not mandatory, thanks to which convention is? Berne convention. Okay. So, considering that convention, you know that 178 parties are there and you can do the registration, means once you write something or once you create the what we can say the any subject matter of a copyright, you get automatic registration. Then why you are going to go for that proper registration of a copyright? If I am getting a automatic protection, why I should go for that? So, we can suggest that okay, this will be a prima facie evidence in a court of law if any dispute arises related to ownership of a copyright. So, that is a second what we can say reason, that first reason is like okay, you feel that okay, I should register that particular thing, and registration is very simple, procedure is very simple, fee is also less. So, you can go for that. Second is if you want if any dispute arises, obviously this will be a prima facie evidence. Okay. Now, next is like a registration is it is a very valuable to a copyright holder who wishes to take a civil or criminal action against the infringer. So, if any infringement case by what we can say bad luck or misfortune, if some what we can say infringement happen, then in that case if you have done the registration, that will be very useful. So, it is your choice if you want to register it or not, but if you want to register, it is very simple and it will be a prima facie evidence. Okay. Now, further where you can do the registration. So, in India, if you see, Copyright Office is only at one place, that is a Delhi. So, in patent we have seen that 4 locations are there, in trademark we have seen 5 locations are there. Okay. For copyright only one location, that is a Delhi. So, as per section 9 of Copyright Act, which deals with the establishment of a Copyright Office, according to it is like a Copyright Office is under the immediate control of a registrar of a copyrights. Okay. So, registrar of copyright is appointed by whom? He or she will be appointed by a central government, and who would act under the superintendence and directions of the central government. Now, this copyright office is located currently, if you can see on the background, the building, that is a copyright office building, and it is nothing but the what we can say, the Bauddhik Sampada Bhavan. It is in Dwarka, Delhi. So, this is the location where copyright registration, what we can say, you can do the copyright registration. It is in this office. Now, what is the general structure of a copyright office? So, registrar, then there are deputy registrars, then there are section officer, and then the examiners. So, in this way, if you see that copyright office, one place, that is Delhi, and the building you are seeing is the obviously the Bauddhik Sampada Bhavan, Dwarka, Delhi. Here the registration is you can do registration of a copyright, and currently Shri Singh is a registrar, and Shri Swaroop and Shri Juneja are the deputy registrars. Okay. Now, moving further, what is the procedure? So, if you see in short, the procedure is like a, first you will file the application, okay, that is the first step. After application, you will get the immediately diary number. Okay. Now, here what the thing is happening, when you are applying for a patent, you will immediately get a application number. Here when you apply for copyright, you will get a diary number. Okay. Then the next procedure, we will go in the details, but next step is like a notice, if by any interested person, that notices will be served. And if no objection is there, that is a obviously that registration will happen, but if objection is there, then hearing is there, and then after hearing registration will happen. Okay. So, we have to go now in the more details of that particular copyright registration. Okay. So, filing of a copyright. So, what exactly you are doing here? So, when you visit on the, obviously all procedure is online. So, when you visit the website, we will show you how that website looks and where exactly you have to do the registration. So, once you do the registration, you will get a user ID and a password for a login. So, you can do the login, and then after that, what you can do, that click on the online copyright registration. Now, when you will click on that online registration form, you will have to fill the form, and there are a few steps to fill that form. So, which form is there? Form 14 is the form which is used for a copyright registration. So, what you have to do is that I will show you how that form 14 looks. So, you can just go through the form 14, just simple information you have to fill into that form 14. You have to sign that form. The instructions are given that how exactly you can scan. Obviously, there is no requirement of something like digital signature. You can have a simple image of your signature, a scan copy, and that also you can use as a signature for filing this form. Unlike that trademark registration, in trademark registration you require digital signature, okay, or in patent filing, if you are doing it online, you require a digital signature. In copyright, it is not required. Then you have to fill up the statement of certain that particulars are there, and then after filling that particulars about that the questions or that 2 columns are there, and according to whatever the information is asked, you have to just write down across that particular column that okay, this information according to the information whatever is there required in the form, you have to just write down that particular thing. And then what you have to do is like you have to specify that okay, which subject matter you want to register. So, all that information you will add into that form, and then you have to do the payment. So, how much payment you have to do, we will see that how much fee you have to give for that particular registration, okay. And from where you will get that information, that also we will show you on the website. Okay. So, that way you whatever you are, because we have a different kind of a subject matters in copyright, fee is changing. It is not like a patent only 3 categories are there, and accordingly the fee structure is what we can say, you can see that fee structure, but in copyright little bit variation is there, and therefore, we will show you where exactly that you will find that how much fee you have to give for the registration. Okay. Now, after doing all this activity, that form filling, and then you have done the payment, you can do the submission, and once you do the submission, you will get the diary number. Okay. So, it is just like a application number. We call, when you do the patent registration, you are getting the application number, here you are getting a diary number. Okay. Now, along with that means once you fill that form, do the payment, you have to upload the work which you are going to register. And so, suppose artistic work is you have to upload a PDF form or a JPG form. So, that particular format is expected, and you can just upload that, and they have given the suggestions that okay, the file should not be more than 5 MB. So, in that way you have to manage the what we can say the first part of that application. Now, in that same point I will elaborate little more, that you have filled the details, submitted the form, then you have to remember that for each work you have to give a separate form. It is just like a, although one trademark, I am just relating it with a trademark or patent, whenever it is I can make a differentiation, so that you can just remember the differences between patent, copyright and a trademark, because we have just dealt with this, we are dealing with copyright now, you have dealt with patent and trademark. We have to still see that what is industrial design. Okay. So, here what I am saying is that when you are doing the registration, here for each work you have to do the separate, what we can say, separate form you have to submit. It is just like for a trademark. Trademark we have seen there are 45 classes, and in that 45 classes what you are doing, if you want to register your trademark in one class, you are giving particular fee. If you have to register that particular trademark in more than one class, again you have to give the separate fee. So, one class, one trademark, that that will be considered as a one application. Here same thing, one work and one application, and that accordingly you have to give the payment or whatever the registration fee is there. Okay. Now, after that means you have to application, you have obviously you will sign that thing. This I will say that it will not apply to you, but I am assuming that you yourself are if you will filing that copyright, you yourself will file that copyright. So, you will not require power of attorney to be signed and all that thing, but due to some what we can say busy schedule, if you could not spend time on that particular registration procedure, and if you have given that work to someone else, then obviously you have to give the power of attorney to the agent or advocate to whom you have given that task of registration of a copyright. Okay. Then obviously you will do the fee, whatever a fee is, if online, that online mode you can follow, or you can give a demand draft also. Suppose if you are doing the physical filing in Delhi, you can give demand draft also, or postal order also, Indian postal order also accepted by the office. Now, what exactly you have to submit? Now, you understood form 14 is there, registration fee is there, then signature is there. You have understood this thing, and you have understood also this thing that okay, each work is a separate work and I have to give a separate fee and separate form for that registration. Now, further for what we can say, when you will submit the form, you have to give a 2 copies of a work, whatever the work is. Suppose if you have a literary work, you can give a PDF, that 2 copies of PDF you have to submit in that way. So, 2 copies of work you have to give. It is like a checklist. You have already, if you are doing a physical filing, DD or IPO is there. Then if you are not an author and you are filing that particular thing, then NOC from author is required. Then Sometimes you will require NOC from publisher if it is a book and you have published it through some publisher, then that NOC is also required. Then search certificate from the trademark office, that is one important thing. Suppose the work is related to some goods and some trademark registration is there, then you have to give the search certificate from a trademark office. Okay. Then if it is photograph, then you have to give the NOC from a person whose photograph appears on the work. So, if some photograph of someone else is there, although you have clicked that thing, but the photograph is of some other person, NOC from that person is also required. Okay. Then power of attorney, if you are giving it through the the advocate. Okay. Now, we will go to the next thing. If there is a objection, what will happen? Examiner will send a letter to both parties. Okay. Now, reply, once the parties will receive that letter, reply from both parties is expected, and if required, obviously there will be a hearing by registrar. Now, here again please remember that everything is online. So, here you can do the online hearing. So, no need to visit office, it will be online. Then if after hearing that application is there, may be it may be accepted, it may not be accepted. So, suppose now the application is if rejected, obviously that will not go further, but if it is accepted, what the thing will happen? You can see that examiner will start the examination. So, scrutiny will be started. Now, in the scrutiny, if some discrepancies there, what will happen, that examiner will send the letter to the applicant. Applicant will give reply, and after that means what will happen, if reply is giving the details, then after that there may be hearing or may not be hearing, and after hearing what will happen, if there may be if registrar satisfies that discrepancy is now what we can say, the applicant has given the clarification about that thing, then what may happen, that it will be, if it is okay, then it will be accepted, and then the registration will happen. If there are any discrepancies and if sufficient details are not received by registrar, obviously what will happen, that will be rejected. So, in this way what is going to happen, just I summarize this whole process. We have seen that there will be a filing, then diary number will be received, then there will be if there is any objection, then what will happen, that examiner will means send the letter to both the parties will give reply. If that reply is sufficient, that is fine, otherwise there will be hearing. After hearing, it may be accepted, it may be rejected. If rejected, the matter is closed. If it is accepted, further scrutiny by the examiner will start. After that examination, if discrepancy is there, examiner will communicate with the applicant will satisfy the whatever the queries are there, and once that queries are satisfied, what the thing will happen, that after that all the what we can say, you have given the reply, and after that reply there may be requirement of what we can say, the hearing, that hearing will be there, and after hearing what will happen, that there will be registration of a copyright. So, this complete procedure will be followed when we are talking about registration of copyright. This complete procedure will be followed. In the copyright filing, you have just seen the procedure now. So, form 14 is there. For your convenience, what we are doing, that we are hosting this form 14 in the reading material folder. You can just go through that form 14. You can see what information is required when you are filing that online copyright registration. Whenever you are doing this, if you have filled that form, it will be easier for you to copy paste the information, and that procedure will be easier for you. Okay. Now, next, that is a copyright e-register. So, whenever you do the registration, where you will get the information that so online you can see the e-register is there. Now, in e-register, what information you can get? You can see on the screen that there is a serial number, then there is a diary number, then there is a ROC number, registration of a copyright. Then you can see the date also, and you can see the title of work also, and along with the category and the obviously the applicant details. Okay. Now, moving further, we will see little bit details that how exactly the copyright registration is happening. So, if you take the applications only for 1 month, say April 2020, there are total like a 571, you can see the applications are there, and in May applications are 716. Okay. How many registrations are there? You just understand difference between application and registration. We have already seen in the patent, application is there, and then when patent granted is there, we say okay, patent granted. So, patent application, patent. Similarly, here copyright application is there, and then the copyright registration. So, we have just seen that in the April month there are total 571 applications, and how many registrations are there? 540 registrations are there. In May applications, May 2020 applications, total applications 716 and total registrations 687. Now, in that graph only, if you see, if you want to know what is the status of that copyright. Okay. So, here there are various what we can say the status that it is what we can say, suppose for example, if it was like a payment accepted and application in a mandatory waiting period. We have already seen that 30 months is a mandatory period, that after filing 30 months, just like in patent 18 months are there, these are there, that during that period publication of patent will not happen. Similarly, here a waiting period is there, that is of a 30 days, and if that 30 days waiting period your application is in that window, the status online, if you try to understand, we will see where you can check that status will be shown as a waiting. Okay. Then you can see the status like work awaited, the meaning is like work yet to be received, or sometimes you see the status as a documents not received, formality check failed, something like that status is there. The meaning is like documents or works are not received only after making a payment. Okay, means payment is successful, but the documents are not received. Abandon, as name suggests, that there may be a reply to discrepancy letter is not received, and because of that application may be abandoned. Then if the scrutiny procedure, we have seen that after the application, if there is no objection, examination will start, that is a scrutiny. If that process is going on, status is like a scrutiny. Then if after scrutiny, if discrepancy is there, so the some what we can say, application is not just complete format and some query is there, then there will be like a discrepant, that kind of status is there. Okay. And so this kind of different status are available on the on online. Hearing status means if hearing on objections is there, then status will be hearing. Okay, so this kind of words or this kind of a status, I should not say word, it is a status, that is okay, hearing or pending for hearing or re-scrutiny or discrepant, all this kind of a these are the different kind of a status you can see online after the registration. So, you have a diary number, you know who is applicant. So, by using that particular thing, you can check that what is under what stage now my application is. Okay. Now, the next is like a fees. Now, how much fees you have to pay for a registration? Now, if you see on the screen here that fees, it is a very minor, you can say. If it is a literary, dramatic, musical or artistic work is there, it is just 500 rupees. Okay. So, for that you have to just give 500 rupees. If cinematographic film is there, little higher amount, it is a 5,000, and if it is a sound recording, it is a 2,000. So, if I compare it with a patent, it is like if 500, there it is only 1650 if it is a online, right. individual I am talking, or in trademark it is a 4,500. So, you can just compare the fee, government fee for a registration. Okay. Now, if you want to go in more details, that okay, suppose you have already done the registration of some literary work, and you have to do the registration now with a literary work related to some goods. So, trademark related aspect is coming, then that fees are little higher, something around 2,000. So, how much fee you have to pay, that fee schedule is already hosted on a website. If required, or if you want that, we will host it on in the reading material also. So, you can go through the how much fee is you have to pay, and accordingly you can what we can say, either you can take out DD if you are doing it physical filing, or you can do the online mode. Okay. So, we will host that form 14 also, and how much fee you have to pay, that details also we will host in the reading material. Now, how after that, means suppose you have done the given the fee and you have done the registration, how that certificate looks. So, here you can see on the screen, this is how this certificate, that copyright registration certificate looks like. Okay. So, once that registration, that whole scrutiny will completed, once it is completed, you will get the certificate like this, that your copyright registration is completed, and this is the number, and you will get that particular number. Okay. So, now what we will do, that we will see that Copyright Office website. Now, this is how the Copyright Office website looks. So, what you have to do is just type in Google that Copyright Office India, and you can visit this site. Now, here you can see the e-register is there. We have already seen what that e-register is there. Register, the new application point is here, then any hearing notice is there, this tab is here, and then we have seen that TM related copyright, if it is there, that search you can do here. And contact address, we have already shown you that the building you have already seen, it is in Dwarka, Delhi, that address is here if you want to contact the office by post, or then you can contact through post by this, or phone number is also there. Here you can see the contact, and here the email ID and a telephone number is there. Now, we will go to e-filing application. Now, here if you see the e-filing application, we have seen here you have to do the registration, user ID and password. Okay. So, here user registration is there, this window you can use for that registration, and here the details are given, that how exactly you have to go for that particular registration. So, this is the login login web page, and here you can do the registration. Then moving further, you can see the here check now this particular thing, that e-filing is done, then status of application. So, you have received some diary number, you can put that diary number here, and after putting that diary number here, you can get the status, and here below that work awaited, waiting, documents not received, that meaning of whatever the status will come, that meaning is mentioned here. Now, if you go on to this side, that is forms. If you see that forms, here you can see the form 14. Okay. So, here is that form. Okay. Then what else you will like to know is, suppose you stuck somewhere and you want to know little bit details, here are the FAQs. So, site itself is a self-explanatory. Then further thing is like a details of processing fee. So, how much fee you have to pay, that particular thing you can check it here. So, this is the window you can just go through the details and you can see here how much fee you have to pay for that particular literary work. Okay. So, you can just go into the details here and you can see how much fee you have to pay. Then we have seen something about a copyright societies, that information also is given here and you can check that what that copyright societies are. So, that details also you can see here. This hearing notice related information is there. Then all copyright acts are here, toolkit is also given. So, it is the site is what we can say self explanatory and you can just go through this site and you can do the registration by using this site. So, you just open this site and you just click on the tabs and you can get the pretty well that information. So, you have just seen that how the website of this copyright office that covers the most of the information is covered there. It gives you the registration window, then how to do application, that forms, fees, copyright societies, then the what we can say the status check, everything is there online available and it is a very simple user friendly website. So, you can do easily copyright registration by using the website. Two things you will require to know, that is a form 14 and how much fee. Both the documents we will host in the folder, that reading material folder, and also whenever you will visit this site you will get that information. Okay. So, now we will move and check one video. So, if you see this video, now what this video is about, up to the time you have seen as what is the subject matter of copyright, what are the related rights, how you can do the registration of copyright. Okay. Now, as technology is emerging, we are pretty well aware that with artificial intelligence that computers are also creating the what we can say the subject matter whatever of copyright is there, that is created by computers also. So, whether computers can be considered as a author of copyright, that is a question. Means in next module we are touching upon the infringement. So, before going to that, I would like you to just think on the emerging technologies and a copyright. The major challenges when we are talking about a copyright or a major what we can say issues which will arise is like this. There is a very famous monkey case actually. We say that as per author, who is a author for photograph, you remember that? So, yeah, photographer is a author for a photograph. So, he is a owner, he or she is a owner. Now, this case, monkey case is like this, that monkey, he has taken a camera and he himself he was just playing with that camera and that camera, that click button get pushed because of that when that monkey was just because of curiosity, probably he was just playing with that camera and that photograph get clicked. So, it is like a selfie of a monkey and that was a very popular case. As this is clicked by a monkey, whether monkey will be the owner, as he is a photographer there. So, whether he is the owner of this copyright. So, that case is a very popular case. So, that kind of issues what we can say, these are coming, and with the artificial intelligence the issue is like this, that if computer create a painting, who will be the owner or who is the author of that copyright. So, this video is giving you idea about that particular thing, and suppose you are a technology entrepreneur and if you are creating something which is a subject matter of copyright, probably this kind of issues or this kind of conflict or this kind of dilemma probably you will face. So, you just watch this video and check how it is, what is the opinion. It is the deliberations are going on and it is like still means monkey case is over, that decision came, but with AI some issues are still what we can say that for that the answers are not there and it is under a consideration or it is under a deliberations. Okay. So, you just watch this video.
I write programs, programs make drawings. Drawings are made completely by the computer. This isn't the case of computer-aided art making.
Harold Cohen has been an artist and computer scientist for over 20 years. I talked with him in his studio in San Diego on the University of California campus, where he has developed his own expert system to create original art.
Okay. So, you probably get idea that how artificial intelligence and copyright means IP and this artificial intelligence, because with patent also some issues are till that when drafting patent some issues, some rather I will say more issues are coming, and that is like what we can say some guidelines are required for us. Some countries have already given some guidelines. Okay, we will not go in details of that. In this video, what was the main issue, like with the artificial intelligence, if computer or if that non-living entity if creates something, how that can be protected? That is a what we can say, that is a deliberation, some pondering is there. This is a blog you can just go through also. So, with the emerging technologies, what you can see that you are if you are entrepreneur and checking with emerging technologies, if you are dealing with emerging technologies, we have to see that IP laws, maybe patent, maybe trademark, maybe copyright, maybe industrial design, what is the effect of that emerging technologies on the IP. Especially it is affecting a patent and a copyright than the trademark or industrial design. So, this patent and copyright, this among these four important types. Patent because how you can do the drafting and how that will be considered, whether that will be considered, because mostly it is a computer related work, and how you can consider it as a section 3 come into picture. So, we will not go in detail, but I am just giving you the issues which as a lawyer or as a IP person, IP researcher, that researcher has to think that what should be the guideline for that particular kind of invention, how that can be protected. So, that much deliberations already happen and it is still going on. Some patent offices has already given the direction. Similarly, when we are talking about a copyright, different subject matters are there. Creativity is like a you can see that the whole plethora of creative work is considered under a copyright. Now, if this is so, how already some gray areas are there in copyright, and above that if challenges like this emerging technology brings challenges, or a monkey case like scenario is there, this is like what we can say, it becomes a very challenging in the court of law, that how the decision, particular decision can be given on that particular matter. And at that time role of IP researcher is a very important, and that strong deliberations on that subject matter. And if there is any requirement of amendments in the act, or if there is a requirement of some guidelines, or if there is a requirement of a policy, that kind of what we can say the documents or deliberations or thought process that is necessary actually. Okay. So, with this actually in this module you have seen that how you can go for the registration, and I emphasize again, for copyright registration, no, there is not at all requirement of any agent or any advocate. You yourself can do the registration, and it is a very simple, and you can do on your own this procedure. Okay. And you have seen the website, where how exactly that website looks, and how you have to follow that thing. Okay. So, with this we are coming to the end of this module. In the next module we are going to see what is how that copyright infringement is, what is copyright infringement, and what are the remedies for that particular, if copyright infringement happens, what are the remedies. Okay. Thank you.